Well, good afternoon to all the Mount Sinai friends and supporters. I just wanted to give you a greeting for Happy New Year and Happy Haitian Independence Day and give you a recap of what's happened in the last year thanks to your continued support. So we continue to serve the 50 children or more that we do through our orphanage, through our feeding program, and we are able to feed them 2, sometimes 3 times a day on our budget. We give them clothing, medical, an education. They are growing up fast, and we miss being able to be with them during these difficult times where the gangs continue to control much of Haiti. With our churches, we have 5 churches, 2 main churches, one in Goss and one down in the village by the orphanages. And so this last year, we held 2 crusades at those churches. We were able to, through that, we saw 10 decisions for Christ, and they were then baptized. We had 2 weddings and a funeral. And this month of December, during the break after school, we had a youth program. And so the kids would come in and stay with us at our guest house. And they did evangelism in the morning. They held church services at night. And then during the day, they would do sports and games and play. And through that, we had 2 more come to Christ and that were baptized this week as a result of that. Things are still difficult there. Thankfully, we're in a remote area and we don't have immediate threat. We're able to keep our children safe, and our workers are mostly safe. When they go to town to get supplies, there's risk, but we've been able to mitigate most of that. Gasoline remains very expensive there because of the gang control at the ports, but we've been able to provide enough to have the generators run during the times of these events that we're talking about. We do need to replace the batteries on the solar system. That's something we're looking at and working on some grants or some fundraising for. That's rather pricey. We have a grant out that we were supposedly approved for a completely new solar system. We're waiting to hear on that, and if we don't, then we'll have to move forward with the purchase of batteries. All the teachers at our 2 schools have been paid through the end of the recent school term, so that was ended December 10th, and so everybody's caught up there. We also just had Shello, our administrative pastor. We were able to sponsor him through 4 years of Bible college. So now, in addition to being our administrator there, he is also an ordained pastor and has graduated. Zachary Sins, who many of you know, came up through our school and our orphanage, is still in medical school thanks to your support. He's in Port-au-Prince, which is, again, very dangerous. And when he's on break between terms and internships, he comes back to the village to serve. We just recently had an outbreak, fever. He served over 50 people from the community for that. Of course, the children are constantly needing medical attention for a variety of things, cuts, bruises, scrapes, of course, but there's a lot of parasites and other illnesses that run around, and he's been a great help for that. Moise has been in Limonade. He's at the university there, and we're sponsoring him as an art major. Art is actually one of the viable skill sets that we need in the area, where he can actually make a living there. There's a definite call for that in that region. We continue to do our widow care program. It's going well. We also, as you remember, Gertrude, who had the triplets, one of which unfortunately passed away. We were able to take care of her, and she had 2 children before that. Her and her kids through their hospital stay, and then kept them in the orphanage with us until we could build a home for her, thanks to contributions of some of our supporters. One in particular, we were able to build her a new home for her and her 4 children. What else? We continue to run our agricultural program. That cuts our cost by being able to have 3 agricultural fields to grow crops. We use local farmers, and basically it's like a sharecropping. They operate the fields for us. We train the children on the processes, and then we get the food from that, and they get to keep some for themselves as well. We do still have, of course, the medical clinic running when we can. It's a matter of access to medicine. We stopped paying the nurse because she was there 3 days a week, and we simply didn't have any medications for her to dispense. We still help the folks at the mental health home through feeding and bathing and clothing and medical attention. And we're still continuing to do all the services that we can that God has put on our heart in these difficult times, thanks to His grace and your support. And I just want to thank you personally for your continued support. Just ask that you consider If you have any friends that you can share this ministry with that might want to be a part of what God is doing there, we'd greatly appreciate any support we can get during these difficult times. And we'd love to be able to help more children. That's really our heart. And what started this all was God putting these kids on our heart and giving a future to this area where no one had ever done any work before. There had never been any outsiders. And God sent us there, and we've seen him do dramatic and radical things. The rate of waterborne illness has dropped significantly. Women receiving burns in their homes for cooking over open flame has dropped significantly. People have an education, access to education now that they never had before. They're hearing the good news of the gospel, and it's continuing to transform that community in a significant way. And that's all thanks to you and your contributions. And we thank you very much and pray that you all have an extremely blessed new year. Thank you.